Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh. Today we got a little bit of a different video because what I want to do in this video today is break down the barrier if you are looking at getting into what I would consider an entry-level precision rimfire. We're not talking $200 or $300. We're talking somewhere between $500 and $1,000. There's a lot of information out there, and you guys sometimes find yourselves in a position where you know you want to buy something, but there's too many options. So I want to talk about three different rifles today. I'm going to talk about the CZ457, the Tikka T1X, and the Bergara B14R, and I'm going to talk about which one you may want and why, and what will hopefully serve you the best in your goals for precision rimfire shooting. So we're going to start off with the easiest group. This is if you're looking for a precision rimfire, you don't really care so much about brand loyalty. You're not looking to do a bunch of infinite upgrading. You want to buy a rifle that's really nice, that's going to be reliable, then I would probably point you to the Tikka T1X. Now, this isn't without its downsides. They are a really accurate rifle. A lot of the factory rifles are really good. It has a very nice short throw here. A lot of people like this action. There are a few aftermarket triggers, a few aftermarket barrels, but by and large, you're going to buy this rifle and probably leave it kind of as is. So this would be a good crossover for a precision rifle, something you could put match ammunition in, get those 0.3 inch groups at 50 yards, or carry out in the woods and go squirrel hunting. Now, this by no means is a cheap rifle. This is definitely an heirloom quality rifle, and that's what we're talking about today. We're not talking about the cheapest rifles. There are options that are cheaper than all three of these, but these are all going to be representative of rifles that you would pass down to your kids, something that you're going to keep, and something that you don't have to worry about. It's not going to be of low quality. So if you're in that first group, you just want something, you don't really care about the peripheral stuff, trigger, stocks, chassis, those kind of things. You just want a good shooting rifle that you know is going to work and not break down on you at the range, not break parts all the time, not going to need a ton of maintenance, then the Tikka T1X may be where you want to go. Okay, for the next kind of group of guys or group of people that this may apply to, you want a precision rimfire, but you're a tinkerer. You want to be able to build a rifle any way you want. You want a huge ecosystem of parts. You want an inherently accurate rifle, but you like to play with stuff, and you probably already know within the first year you're going to upgrade almost absolutely everything. Then insert the CZ457. Recently, quality hasn't been the highest. They've kind of cheaped out on a few things, but still, this rifle has an enormous ecosystem. It has a dead reliable ignition system, and it's overall just a crazy good rifle. And as you can see here, this is a setup that I built to compete with the high-end, super high-end $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 setups, and this will. This gun absolutely hammers, and you can build this identical setup out of a factory CZ at home. Now, is it going to cost you a bunch of money? Of course, but if you're a tinkerer like me, you want to play with things, there's no bigger ecosystem right now for non-Remington 700 based rimfires than there is for the CZ457. So once again, you're going to get kind of the small pattern rimfire mags like you would with a Tikka T1X. You're going to get a short, very light throw, ton of trigger options, jar, Timney. I think there's a few others that have stepped into the game, Jewel, a bunch of chassis options, a crap ton of barrel options. So you can really customize this rifle to be whatever you want it to be. And it can be anything from a great little factory rifle like the Tikka T1X to a woodwalker with a lightweight setup or a full-blown competition rig like this. All right, so for the third group of people, the rifle that I have here is a Bergara B14R. Now this one is the full carbon version. I wouldn't recommend this. I would get the regular B14R. For around $1,000, you're getting a complete rifle, but the big difference with this compared to the CZ and the Tikka is this is a Remington 700 clone action. So this is going to have a 90-degree bolt throw. It's going to take Remington 700 triggers. It's AICS pattern magazines. So this is going to be a rifle that if you are looking to buy a trainer, a true trainer, something that will fit your Remington 700 chassis, something that you can use the same trigger on a rifle you already compete with, something that's going to share the same ecosystems, then I would recommend this because at $1,000, you're getting a complete rifle. You can get the barreled action for a little cheaper, especially if you're going to swap it into a chassis or trigger that you already run. So for those guys, this makes a lot of sense. Now, this is a very, very small population of actual shooters because this is really only going to this is really only going to apply to those guys who are already shooting centerfire competition guns that are Remington 700 base. So it is a good option for that. This is the rifle that I recommend. So if you're in a Remington 700 already, you got a nice stock, a nice chassis, you run a certain trigger on all your rifles, then something like the Bergara B14R is going to make a lot of sense. Now, having said that, this is like the $1,000 option. It goes way up from there. If you're looking for something really, really crazy, then you can step up to all the new offerings that you've seen on the channel. But this is going to be a complete factory production rifle that can be had for around $1,000. Like I said, the barreled action for a little bit less. So hopefully this has answered some questions, both about why I recommend the Tikka T1X, and hopefully if you're looking at getting into precision rimfire, again, price point $500 to $1,000. And these rifles are rifles that I recommend because you can usually pair them with good ammunition and get like a 0.3 inch group at 50 yards and sub 1 inch at 100 yards. And I think that's important. That's precision rimfire. Now, there are a ton of other options on the market that are cheaper. Savage just released a new rifle. I haven't had a chance to check that out. That may be my new recommendation. Who knows? But there are cheaper options. But these rifles, the Tikka T1X, the Bergara B14R, the CZ457, those are known quantities that you can get into, and you're going to be successful with that rifle. And it's going to be around a while, and it's something truly worthy of keeping, hanging on your gun wall, or passing down to your kids at some point. So appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one.